and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Diptii Shah and welcome to my show, Artistry. Today, I have with me Emilie Ducommun, who is a resilience coach helping women bounce back from adversity. Hello, Emilie, and welcome to my show.
Hi, Diptii. Thank you so much for having me in your show. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you
for
for
me.
coming. So, Emilie, what kind of adversity are we talking about here?
All right, so that's a big one. Adversity is really depending on everyone. It can be anything. It can range from losing your dog to going through a divorce, having a loss, having your children that has to redo the school year, moving to a new home. It can be really anything, but I would describe it as something that really puts you down and you feel like always defeated and with a very negative mindset, and you feel like you keep on thinking of, like replaying scenario from the past. For example, what would have happened if I would have done this and that, and which is not helpful in a way, because you can't change the past, you can just focus on the present. So yeah, really, there is no right or wrong regarding adversity. And I know that nowadays there is this trend that people have this tendency to say, well, this is just a small thing, or this is not important, this is not a big deal. But it really depends on everyone's, and it is our own way to react to different things.
So when we think about the past and wish that, we had done something different, or when we wish what if, it creates a kind of stress within us.
It can lead to stress. It's more that it's in terms of mindset, because this is what I like to call it the regret mind chatter, and then you tend to replay this scenario and try to think like what would have happened, all these kind of things, which is not helpful. In a way, I always tell my client, any feeling or any thoughts, you need to welcome them, because if you don't address them, they're gonna just becoming bigger and bigger. So any thought that is coming your way, just accept it and embrace it. Any regret thought, basically, I like to look at them in a way that they are here to make us grow, so that we don't repeat the same mistake. So, I think it just shift the way we look at regrets. Say, well, what can I learn from that? So this is how I tell my clients to deal with it. What can you learn? How can you grow from something that you would not want necessarily to be repeated?
So Emilie, apart from the regret, what kind of other thoughts would you, characterize as negative mind chatter?
Okay, there are a lot. There is the first one that comes to mind is the motivation mind chatter. And this is all about the, I should do this, I need to do that, I have to do this. And we're all victim of that, like I have to pick up my daughter from school, I need to go grocery, I should prepare the dinner. But then the first thing I want here to tackle is change the way our words are so important that we should take language very seriously, because this is what affects our mind, our belief, and then transform into like emotions and then everything. So whenever I tell my clients, just twist a little trick, just replace should, have to, need to by I get to, I want to, I choose to. And here you can feel the shift. I have to take my daughter, seems like something putting me down, and like an assignment or homework I have to do, like something a bit negative, filled with negative energy around. If I say I choose to pick up my daughter from school because I want to spend time with her, then it's very empowering. The shift is like, I need to choose, I want to choose, and it gives you back this control in your own life. And I think this is very powerful.
So how do we do this on a daily basis? Because this should have to, is a constant thing that goes on everyone's mind. For sure, it goes on my mind, I must do this to, look successful, or I must wear this, or I must, do makeup, whatever it is, whatever beliefs that we have. So are there any tips, on an everyday basis that we can, conquer this and be okay with it?
Just practice. The first time, it's like building a muscle. The first time that you have to lift, I don't know, like these bells or whatever, it sounds super, super difficult. But then the more you do it, the more it becomes automatic, and the more it will be like your natural routine and natural way to answer it. So here it's all about awareness, being aware of what you're thinking, what is your thought process. And when you're able to catch yourself on the moment, then, you know, like, of course it takes practice, but if you're conscious about your thoughts, then it will be, you will be making it happening.
Yeah, so practice makes a shift from a warrior to a warrior, actually.
Exactly. And there is actually another thing regarding, if we talk about from warrior to warrior, because there is also this catastrophizing mind. This is another mind shatter, you know, like, oh my God, and what if I haven't locked the door and someone is coming in, and then, you know, I'm in my bath and I can't enjoy because in fact my mind is completely like overthinking. And here, this is really like tackling the what if things and going completely mad out of something that is not happening. It's like a potential future that might never happen.
Right.
So here, again, I like to remind clients that, well, first of all, look at what is most likely to happen. There are a lot of exercises I give to clients, but here another trick that I just give them is just say, I'll handle it. Because if you've been handling until now, chances are that, I mean, you will be able to handle it in the future as well. So stop the mind shadow. It's always important to bring back the attention to the present, because all this what if is everything related in the future, a potential future. But our brain can only deal with something that is in the present. So the idea is really to bring back yourself and your consciousness in the present.
Emilie, could you give us some general tips, you know, to reduce our everyday stress that might be real and that might not be real?
Absolutely. So to be able to break down this stress, the first thing we want, because what happens when you're going through stress, it means that your body is releasing extra cortisol or extra adrenaline to help you cope with a perceived threat. It might be real or not, but what we want is just to bring back our body to a sense of groundedness, to be grounded and to be like more in a calm, in a relaxed state, so that your body understands that there is no perceived threat and you're able to fully relax. So this is just the introduction. So the first thing I always tell is all about self-care, because we have this tendency to say, I'll be able to relax when I finish this. You know, this is a super common mindset, but there will always be something on your plate. So you, in the end, you will never relax. So Figueiras self-care, and here self-care can be anything. There is a misconception to say that self-care is about champagne and spa. It is not about this. Self-care is doing anything. It can be 5 minutes a day, but anything that feels good for you. It can be calling a friend. It can be just clean up your mess, because I personally enjoy cleaning my mess. So this is something that for me is like a relaxing experience, you know? So it can be really anything that feels good for yourself. So this is something that I really like to say to my clients. Gratitude, be grateful, is also something that really helps, because then it helps to, how can I say, first of all, switch your mindset from a negative to a more positive, and then you're grounded in the present. Again, here what we want is like to be really mindful, really present. So that can be writing 3 things you're grateful for your day. Just do it every day. The important here is to have routine. Routine is actually another tip. The more you tend to have always like to be constant, going to bed at the same time, eating lunch at the same time, I mean, your body will have a natural rhythm, and this also helps to cope with different challenges that you might go through during the day, because you have at least the foundation that is always there. Sleep is a huge one. And I was actually doing a big workshop on that, because I'm not a sleep therapist, of course, but I've learned, I did a lot of training also on sleep, because when you're sleep deprived, your body is releasing extra cortisol so that you're able to cope with it, and just to keep you alert and just being able to cope with the tiredness. But cortisol is also the stress hormone. So the more sleep deprived you are, the more your body releases cortisol, so the more you're stressed. And the more stressed you are, the less sleep you can get. So this is really a vicious circle that I really want to tell to all my clients. That's one of the first things we always tackle. What is your sleep? Because this is a big one. So again, here for sleep, routine is something that is very important. Going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. And this is a very common mistake that we tend to do. When it's weekend or like Saturday, Sunday, we don't have to go to work, we tend to say, okay, I oversleep 1 or 2 hours. But there is not anything that is worse to disrupt the body rhythm, because your body doesn't know that it's the weekend and you can oversleep. So then that's why sometimes you wake up and you're even more tired. It's because actually your body cycle is completely upside down. So yeah, these are just like a few tips that come to my mind right now.
I think the sleep is what I discovered in this year, that the success of my day and hence my life depends on my 8 hours of sleep.
Oh yeah. But actually, you know, Diptii, that's a very, I'm not sure if we still have time to just talk. Let me just give you a 2-minute thing about the 8 hours per night, because this is one of the biggest misconceptions about sleep. It's not that you need 8 hours. It's all about, again, consistency. And here there are 2 points that I want just to mention quickly. It's about going to bed at the right time. So it's not necessarily about 8 hours. And we have what we all have chronotype, and there are 4 types of chronotypes. And this is just basically your natural tendency to be more performant at certain times of the day, or to go to bed at certain times of the day, and to be more alert maybe or performant in the morning or in the evening. So this is something that is like genetics. You can't change with that. So that's why sometimes we say there's like, you know, the early bird or the night owl, and this is actually based on the chronotype. Oh. And then the other point that I want to mention is about, well, regarding the chronotype, one more thing, maybe you can cut.
No, go ahead.
Okay, about the chronotype is also that once you know what chronotype you are, then you're able to make some adjustment during the day and know that, for example, exercise, like for me, I can't exercise at night or in the evening, because otherwise my body is so awake and then my sleep is just like terrible. And funnily enough, I discovered that for my chronotype, I better exercise in the morning. And now I completely changed, and everything seems to fall into place much better. So this is one thing. And the second thing regarding these 8 hours of sleep is that it's about like the consistency and waking up and going to bed always at the same time. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to ruin your 8 hours misconception.
No, I mean, I'm so used to that thought, you know, that even if 5 minutes I don't sleep, I feel, oh my God, my quota is not done. You know?
Yes, and this is actually stressful, because
yes,
sometimes you just can't sleep at night because you have so many things going on in your mind. So first thing I always say, have a worry journal. Just put it on your bedtime table, and everything that is in your mind, just put it on paper, because if it's on paper, it's not wandering in your mind. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is, like, you see the time going by and you're like, oh my God, it's less than 8 hours. Oh my God, it's less than 6 hours. And then this is adding on stress, which makes it impossible for you to fall asleep, because you're getting stressed by all these negative thoughts. So if you think that it's not about getting 8 hours, but going roughly to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time, again, I think our perception and our relationship to sleep is more at ease. You know what I mean?
It's more in the mind, rather.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I get very excited when I talk about everything of
No, not at all, not at all. But this is like really like, you know, infected in me that, oh God, I need to sleep for 8 hours.
I know.
All right, Emilie. So where can clients reach you?
Okay, so you can reach me either on my website, www.essentialmindcoaching.com. Also, I'm very active on social media, Instagram, Facebook, through my WhatsApp as well. So I'm pretty easy to reach to. As I said, social media nowadays is like a good way to talk with people, and you have a direct contact. So just very easy.
Sure. I will link all of those contacts here.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Emilie, in short, if you could tell us about your process with your clients.
Sure. So usually when a client comes in, we always have like a free discovery call of about half an hour just to get in touch, make sure that we have like something that clicks. Because when I work with a client, of course, the client will have to go deep and maybe have to go through sometimes challenging discussion, because you have to really go really deep inside your guts, and we want to make sure that there is trust and that the relationship we feel good at ease with each other. That's why I like to have this catch-up conversation to know exactly where the client are at the moment, where he wants to go. And well, I say he, but in fact I work with women exclusively, so where she's at, where she wants to go, and how I can help her. So we have this discussion, and then based on that, I do of course like offer one-on-one coaching session either on Zoom or in presence if you're based in Hong Kong. I also have a program that has started in January that is all about becoming more resilient, and we tackle the mindset, the emotions, and as well the self-care to make sure that you're not stuck in stuck state. And otherwise, I do have various workshops that I tend to organize during the year. So again, if you want to stay tuned, social media, usually this is where I put all the information. So yeah, that's about it.
Sure. Thank you so much, Emilie, for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, and giving your time. It was a pleasure having you on my show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Diptii. It was a pleasure to have this very nice chat with you.
Thank you.